Okay, Assalamu alaikum everyone. On behalf of my VFORT family, I welcome you all to the Annual Volunteer Congress of 2021. I'll begin this session by introducing everyone and myself. Well, I'm Aruj Fatima. I'm the National President of Dental Council's VFORT. And today with us, we have our trainer, Dr. Bakhtawar Azhar, who is the Program Manager of Safe Dentistry, IPAC, and her two facilitators, Afira Amir, who is the President of the Montmorency College of Dentistry's Local Council, and Hiba Irfan, who is Media Secretary of the Montmorency College of Dentistry's Local Council. Our session will be conducted under the title of Infection Control Evolution in Dentistry during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I hope you all have a great session. I'll hand it over to Dr. Bakhtawar from here.
All right, thank you for the great introduction, Aruj. So today we're gathered here today to talk about in dentistry and how the concept of infection prevention has evolved during COVID-19 pandemic. Before we start this workshop, मैं थोड़ा सा context build करना चाहूँगी कि आज की workshop initially when we started this whole thing, the idea of doing this workshop, हमने ये सोचा था कि हम बात करेंगे कि infection control COVID-19 पैंडेमिक के अंदर क्या वो पर्टिकुलर चेंजेस हैं जो हम अपनी क्लिनिकल प्रैक्टिस के अंदर हमें प्रैक्टिस करने चाहिए या वो कौन से प्रिकॉशंस हैं जो हमें पर्टिकुलरली इन कोविड अंडर द कोविड-19 पैंडेमिक सिचुएशन लेने चाहिए. हाउएवर आज की हमारी जो वर्कशॉप है उसका प्रेमिस हमने इस चीज के ऊपर रखा है कि इन्फेक्शन कंट्रोल की बेसिक नॉलेज बहुत ज्यादा डेंटिस्ट के अंदर लैक करती है. And this is a discussion I had with the facilitators, and because most of the people in this workshop are students, हम आज बात करेंगे infection control in general in dentistry, and we are going to add on onto the COVID-19 specifications. COVID-19 की जो evolution है वो बहुत एक next level चीज है understand करने की. I think बहुत important है कि हमारे पहले basics जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा strong हो. So we're going to be focusing on COVID-19 and the basic information, but you need to understand today is that all of these things that we are going to discuss today are not limited to COVID-19. All of these things that we're going to discuss today, वो आपने COVID-19 में सिर्फ प्रैक्टिस नहीं करनी, वो डेंटिस्ट्री के अंदर जनरली एक रेगुलर प्रैक्टिस के अंदर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. Hiba and Afira, I would encourage you guys to keep looking at these issues that people are having. And then हम लोग कुछ lecture के बीच में we're going to address some of these things. So let's begin. Okay, everybody, I would like to share with you कि during the lecture, if you have any questions, आपको एक question answers का आपके Zoom meeting के नीचे option नजर आ रहा होगा. You can leave a question. Our facilitators are going to keep going through your questions, और lecture के बीच में periodically we're going to be answering your questions. So if you have any question, you can leave it there, and if you want to raise hand, you can raise your hand. I'll take a look at it and we'll address your problems or any queries that you might have after a certain period. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about infection control evolution in dentistry during COVID-19 pandemic. जैसे कि हमने बात की, इन्फेक्शन कंट्रोल डेंटिस्ट्री के अंदर बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. हम लोग की जो क्लिनिकल प्रैक्टिस है, we are one of the most important healthcare professionals when it comes to the spread of infections. You must have realized that during COVID-19 जो highest किसी भी profession का risk factor आया था in terms of either getting COVID or being a contributing factor to COVID were dentists. So it's very important to understand your role as a professional in terms of being responsible to prevent the spread of infectious diseases. आज के इस हम लेक्चर में particularly क्या सीखेंगे? We're going to be after this particular workshop in common dental procedures. आपके जो day-to-day के dental procedures हैं उनके अंदर कौन सी वो precautions हैं जो आपने लेनी है ताकि आप इन्फेक्शन का स्प्रेड ना करें. You will be able to work efficiently as an infection control officer in your respective dental departments. Standard precautions क्या है, infection control officer क्या होता है, ये सारी चीजें हम डिटेल में अभी इनको डिस्कस करेंगे. You will be able to maintain a clean and hygienic working environment for all healthcare workers and patients. We will be able to ensure prevention of cross contamination in the department. Cross contamination को भी हम end में discuss करेंगे detail में. In case I forget, I would want the facilitators to remind me. And then you will be able to practice safe dentistry. So इस सारा कुछ करने का मकसद ये है कि हम अपने आप को ऐसे एनी टाइम अ पेशेंट इज कमिंग टू अस दे शुड नो कि हम लोग ट्रीटमेंट लेने जा रहे हैं, हम कोई डिजीज दे के नहीं आएंगे. सो दैट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ प्रैक्टिसिंग सेफ डेंटिस्ट्री, एंड द बेसिक फंडामेंटल वे ऑफ प्रैक्टिसिंग सेफ डेंटिस्ट्री इज बाय नोइंग ऑल द इन्फेक्शन कंट्रोल प्रोटोकॉल्स. So before we get into infection control protocols, we're quickly going to discuss what infection really is. Now, okay. So infection in the simplest of the words is जब कोई भी माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म एक बॉडी के अंदर एंटर करता है, टिश्यू के अंदर एंटर करता है और वहां पे वो एक होस्ट के अंदर रिएक्शन प्रोड्यूस करता है, दैट इज बेसिकली कॉल्ड इन्फेक्शन. सो डेंटिस्ट के लिए ये चीज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है क्योंकि a lot of microorganisms can remain in the environment of a clinical dental setting. और ये हम लोग ये organism tools education के through by physical tools हम ये माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स पे हम करते हैं क्रॉस इन्फेक्शन. आपने इन्फेक्शन कंट्रोल के अंदर क्रॉस सुनी होगी. क्रॉस द ट्रांसमिशन ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट. अब ये किसी भी क्लिनिक में हो सकती है, डेंटल केयर सर्जरी में हो सकती है, इन एनी एनवायरनमेंट वेयर देयर इज अ चांस ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन ऑफ एनी माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म, स्पेशली वन दैट इज नोटोरियस टू कॉज इन्फेक्शन विद ह्यूमंस. उसका ट्रांसफर होना एनवायरनमेंट की क्रॉस इन्फेक्शन हो सकती है, पेशेंट से प्रैक्टिशनर, पेशेंट से कंज्यूमर हो सकती है. तो दीज आर द डिफरेंट रूट्स इन व्हिच क्रॉस इन्फेक्शन कैन हैपन विद इन अ डेंटल क्लिनिकल एनवायरनमेंट. इसी चीज को रोकने के लिए हमें कुछ प्रिकॉशंस लेने पड़ते हैं, हमें कुछ रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस का पता होना चाहिए ताकि वी आर नॉट एडिंग we're not adding to the problem. और हम जब अपनी क्लिनिकल प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं, जब हम पेशेंट्स को डेंटल ट्रीटमेंट दे रहे हैं, तो we're doing it in a safe way, because dentistry is a highly unsafe profession to be in. It is a very unsafe treatment to get if the infection control protocols are not in place. Now, what is chain of infection? किसी भी infection के transmission को रोकने के लिए, infection के फैलाव को रोकने के लिए, we have to understand कि infection का फैलाव एक chain की सूरत में होता है, right? So there are different links in a chain. Now, the spread of infections happen when that particular infectious agent travels from one place to the other. It happens in a chain fashion. और ये जो हम जितने भी infection control के protocols करते हैं, they are basically aimed at breaking this chain of infection. हम identify करते हैं कि हम इस spread को, ये जो एक chain है, इसको हम कहाँ पे इसका link जो है वो तोड़ेंगे. फॉर एग्जाम्पल कोविड-19 की एग्जाम्पल में आपने देखा कि एकदम से प्रिकॉशंस आ गई, वॉश योर हैंड्स, वेयर योर मास्क. वी आर बेसिकली टारगेटिंग दीज चेन ऑफ इन्फेक्शंस. नाउ इफ यू सी दिस साइकिल, दिस इज व्हाट द चेन ऑफ इन्फेक्शन लुक्स लाइक. इट स्टार्ट्स विद एन इन्फेक्शियस एजेंट. दैट इन्फेक्शियस एजेंट नीड्स अ रेजर्वोयर, वो रेजर्वोयर के अंदर रहता है, वहां पे ग्रो करता है. Then it needs a portal of exit, जहां से वो उस reservoir को छोड़ता है. Then that certain infectious agent के अलग-अलग mode of transmission होते हैं. फिर उसको एक portal of entry चाहिए होता है. मैं इसको आपको COVID-19 की एग्जाम्पल के साथ साथ एक्सप्लेन करती हूँ. फॉर एग्जाम्पल हमारा कोविड वायरस है, उसके reservoirs हमने अंडरस्टैंड कर लिया कि मल्टीपल है. ह्यूमन बींग्स उसके हैं, बैट्स हैं, some dogs have been found to be COVID positive. So we understand कि ये reservoirs है, इसीलिए हमने इसको यहाँ से protect करना है. Portal of exit हमने देखा है that because it's an airborne disease, तो वो nose से exit कर सकता है, mouth से exit कर सकता है, हमारी eye से exit कर सकता है. So what we do is we wear masks. अब उसका जो mode of transmission है वो भी हमने understand कर लिया कि it's an airborne disease. So what do? हम ventilation बेहतर करते हैं. हमें पता है कि ये मोड ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन कैन इवन सर्वाइव ऑन फिजिकल थिंग्स. आपके हाथों पे काफी देर रह सकता है, मेटल के ऊपर काफी देर रह सकता है. सो वी कॉन्स्टेंटली सैनिटाइज थिंग्स. So ये जो हमारे सारे प्रिकॉशंस हैं उनसे हम ये चेन ऑफ इन्फेक्शन को ब्रेक करते हैं. पोर्टल ऑफ एंट्री, अगेन मास्क पहनना हम पोर्टल ऑफ एंट्री उसका रोक देते हैं. ठीक है, पोर्टल ऑफ एंट्री होता है कि वो नेक्स्ट होस्ट में कहाँ से एंटर हो रहा है. देन इट गोज इनटू अ ससेप्टेबल होस्ट, वहां पे वो इन्फेक्शन कॉज करते हैं, अगेन वहां से फिर वो इस तरह ये साइकिल कंटिन्यू होता है. तो हम इस साइकिल को काफी जगहों पे ब्रेक कर सकते हैं. हम उसके रेजर्वोइर्स डिस्ट्रॉय कर सकते हैं, हम उसका पोर्टल ऑफ एग्जिट रोक सकते हैं, पोर्टल ऑफ एंट्री रोक सकते हैं. So we need to act on the chain of infection. Now, we'll look at some of the most common infectious diseases in dentistry. As a dentist, हम लोग बहुत prone है into spreading a certain infectious diseases, जिसके अंदर पाकिस्तान के अंदर सबसे ज़्यादा टॉप पे आती है hepatitis. Now, hepatitis C and B are two of the most commonly spread hepatitis in Pakistan. According to WHO, there were 12.9 million people in Pakistan who were infected with HCV, hepatitis C, and out of which 8.7 million were chronically ill. And these are very alarming numbers. अब अगर इतने हाई लेवल के केसेस हैं हेपेटाइटिस सी के आपके कंट्री के अंदर, then it is inevitable कि आपके पास हेपेटाइटिस सी के पेशेंट्स नहीं आ रहे. And if dentists are not careful with proper infection control protocols, they add to the spread of this hepatitis C, from one patient to one of the majorly, encountered diseases in Pakistan as a dentist. Uske alawa, these are some of the common infectious diseases which you see as a dentist. Amongst these, different kinds of hepatitis are very important. Tuberculosis is another very, very important disease that we come across in dental clinics. Other than that, you have influenza, tetanus, mumps. ये सारी चीजें जो है, ये सारी जो diseases इस जगह पे mentioned हैं, chicken pox, common cold, mumps, pneumonia, all of these diseases can very easily spread through a dental clinic because of the practices that we do. All right. So now that we have understood Aruj and Afira, let's take any questions if you have any questions or any queries so far. Do we? Afira?
Yes, Dr. Pathavar. I am here to take the questions.
We don't have
let's see if we have.
We don't have any questions so far, Dr. Pathavar.
We don't?
No.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, guys, so anytime during the lecture, if you have any questions at all, leave it in the question answer session, and towards the end of a certain session, we're going to address those questions. So the first thing that we're going to discuss today are the administrative measures. सब किसी भी जगह की इन्फेक्शन कंट्रोल पॉलिसी को सेट करने के लिए या किसी भी जगह की इन्फेक्शन कंट्रोल को ठीक करने के लिए कुछ मेजर्स होते हैं जो आपके एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में नहीं होते हैं. इससे पहले कि आपके डेंटिस्ट, आपके डेंटल असिस्टेंट्स या जो ऑन फील्ड काम कर रहे हैं या जो ऑन द डेंटल चेयर काम कर रहे हैं, उन प्रिकॉशंस को लेने से पहले देयर आर सम थिंग्स दैट यू हैव टू डू ऑन एन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन लेवल. एंड इवन एज स्टूडेंट्स, कल को यू गाइस आर गोइंग टू बी ग्रेजुएट्स, you guys are going to have your own clinics, you're going to work in a department. As a practicing dentist, you should be very well aware of these administrative measures, क्योंकि आपने कल को जाके कोई ना कोई administrative role play करना है. आपको पता होना चाहिए कि infection control के administration के level पे क्या काम करने वाले होते हैं. So the first is that you need to have a written infection control plan या policy. आपके पास एक rules and regulations regarding infection control की एक guideline होनी चाहिए which you are going to make according to the needs and requirements of your own particular dental clinic, whether it's a dental department, whether it's an entire hospital, whether it's a private clinic. You should have your infection control plan and policy written in the form of a time book or whatever is the requirement. So the first step the administration has to do is come up with an infection control plan and policy. The second thing is infection prevention manager. Every administration has to assign one infection control manager, one person who is going to be responsible for the infection control of the entire place. ठीक है, आपका अगर क्लिनिक है उसके अंदर एक बंदा होना चाहिए. That can either be a dentist, it can be a dental assistant, it can be a hygienist. So all of these people need to be trained in infection control. और फिर आपने एक infection prevention manager assign करना. फिर administrative level पे कुछ facility and inventory requirements आ जाती है. ठीक है, now this is a little complicated, especially if you have more students than practitioners here. So I'm not going to get into the detail of the facility and inventory requirements right now. Then the next important step is infection prevention education and training. Now it is the responsibility of the administration to conduct infection prevention education and training. Okay, so we're going to run a poll here. Let's see what do you think के infection control की जो training है या जो infection control की education है वो किस level पे होनी चाहिए, and what do you think is the way we go about infection prevention and education in general? Asya, if you could run the first poll. All right, guys, I want you to start voting. So training in infection control should occur when? Do we need to do it during the dental school? Do we need to do it before we start our clinical practice, or should we do it regularly during the clinical practice? Okay, so we have 4 people who answered yet. I'm going to wait for everyone to answer the poll. Hiba, how many people do we have in all right now? What's the total number of participants? 8?
We have 13 participants as of now.
5.
We have 8 participants.
All right.
8,
so I would request all of the participants to vote. All right. So so we 75% of the people have voted already. I'm just going to wait for the rest of the 2 to. Okay, so far 17% are saying that once during dental school, 33% are saying before beginning the clinical training, and 50% of them are saying regularly during clinical practice. Okay, I think, so according to the 75% of the results that we have in so far, 50% of the people think that regularly during clinical practice, training of infection control is important, and that is correct. So the rest of the 2 options are entirely wrong either. So आपकी जो infection control school से ही शुरू होनी चाहिए. That's very true as well. So you're not entirely wrong either. आपके second, third year से, especially third year, जब आपकी clinical practice start हो जाती है, तब से infection control के अंदर आपकी training start हो जानी चाहिए. Before beginning clinical training, again, also true to some extent. But real essence of infection, जब से from your third year, जब आप clinic से जाना शुरू करते हो, every 6 months, according to CDC guidelines, every 6 months, people who are in clinical practice. So, in terms of infection prevention control education and training, that should happen every 6 months for every person who is in clinical practice, and this is the responsibility of the administration. So, अगर आपके professors नहीं करे, अगर आपके college करने की system नहीं है, so you can go to your dean and ask them to conduct these trainings. So some of the professors are very well versed in that, and it's not hard for them to arrange. Even if you're working in a clinic, it's the clinic's responsibility. You're going to have your own clinic. It's your responsibility to conduct education and training. आपके hygienists and सबकी infection control के अंदर training होनी जरूरी है. The next thing that the administration needs to do is surveillance and then immunization. सर्वेलेंस बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि आपने एक चेक एंड बैलेंस एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का काम है मेंटेन करना कि क्या जो हमने गाइडलाइंस बनाई है, क्या जो हमने ट्रेनिंग की है, आगे से जो प्रोफेशनल्स हैं वो उनके ऊपर एक्ट करे या नहीं करे, अगर कोई नहीं कर रहा तो उसके फाइन्स का क्या सिस्टम है. तो ये एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का काम है पूरा एक सर्वेलेंस का सिस्टम बनाना. उसके अलावा इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट दैट एनीबडी वर्किंग इन द dental field should be immunized. There are certain vaccines that children get in Pakistan, which are against tuberculosis, polio, some versions of hepatitis. So all these necessary immunized vaccines that people are supposed to get, all the people working in the field of dentistry should be vaccinated. And if some of them are not vaccinated, then it is the responsibility of the administration to make sure that they are. Nobody who's not immunized should be working within a clinical dental environment. Now we're going to move on to standard questions. Do we have any questions so far?
No. No, Dr. Prasad.
All right, perfect. So then we're going to continue to standard precautions. Now, this is the most important part of today's workshop. आप लोगों का जो post workshop assessment है या जो आपकी pre workshop है, it's also based on that, and we hope that after the workshop, आपने जो pre workshop assessment है, you'll be able to do it better after the workshop. So as we were discussing, that standard precautions in dentistry are basically to protect both the healthcare professionals. Now these rules are designed not only protect you but also the patient. So these are going to protect the patients as well as the people who work in the field of dentistry. और ये जो they are most of the diseases that we encounter during our clinical practice. So these are all settings where healthcare is delivered. They apply to patient care regardless of infectious stage. Now, the thing you need to understand about standard precautions is that standard precautions जो होती हैं वो आपने ये नहीं देखना कि patient को hepatitis C है या नहीं है, COVID है या नहीं है. You have to follow these precautions for every patient. The assumption has to be that yes, the patient who's walked in, they already have disease. You shouldn't even ask them whether or not they're hepatitis C positive or not. ये एक बड़ा misconception है कि जो अगर उसको hepatitis C है तो हम double gloves पहन लेंगे तो बेहतर हो. No. Standard precautions are supposed to be followed for every patient, and once you do that, you don't even have to think twice कि patient को hepatitis C है या नहीं है. Irrespective of what their disease status is, these standard precautions in dentistry apply to everyone, and if you're not practicing those on every patient, then you are practicing unethically, right? So these are the minimum infection prevention practices. देखिए COVID तो दूर की बात, अभी हम minimum infection prevention practices जब discuss करेंगे तो you will realize कि a lot of times we're not even practicing those. So COVID की specialization के अंदर आप तब जाते हैं when you at least know the bare minimum. So today we're going to mostly be talking about the bare minimum that absolutely needs to be done, and there is no excuse for not doing any of those things. So when we talk about standard precautions in dentistry, we have 8 standard precautions which we are going to be discussing today, and we categorize these standard precautions in the following way. We have hand hygiene, we have personal protective equipment, we have respiratory hygiene and cough etiquette. Then we have some rules and regulations around the management of sharp items in a dental clinic. Then we will talk about how to sterilize instrument and different devices. Then the 6th category is the disinfection of things and the environmental surfaces. The next thing that we will discuss is the dental unit water quality and then waste management. So ये सारी categories हैं जिनके rules and regulations का पता होना बहुत जरूरी है. Now first we'll begin with hand hygiene. Let's see. I think आप लोगों की एक उसमें question भी था. Let's run the second poll. We have a question here, and let's see what do the participants think about that. Asya, can we run the next poll? Okay, so what do you think? Can dentists who practice on patients wear nail paint during their practice? So nail paint can be worn by dentists. 75% are saying false and 25% are saying true. 80% are saying false, 20% are saying true. So we have 62% of the vote in yet, 75% of the vote in now, and 83% people are saying that no, you cannot wear nail paint, while 17% are saying that you can wear nail paint. I'm waiting for the polling to be 100%. So we have 2 people who have still not voted. I think the way. Guys, you need to vote immediately. You cannot wait for other people to answer and then for you to copy their answers. All right, so according to 75% of the poll that we have so far, 83% of the people think that no, you cannot wear nail paint during, as a dentist during working, and 17% think that you can. All right. Okay, so the answer to this is that yes, you actually can wear nail paint while you're practicing. However, there are rules and regulations around that nail painting as well and how you can do it. I don't know, can the participants see the poll? Can they see the answers? Achha, now they're viewing the results. All right, so we're going to leave it on for a while. Okay, so now we'll discuss this. Okay, so you can actually wear nail paint. That's fine. Nail paint is not toxic under your gloves. It's absolutely fine. And we'll see how you can wear that nail paint. आप nail paint लगा सकते हो. The rule around it is that it should not be chipped. ठीक है? It should be freshly applied nail polish, and it should have a very smooth touch to it. That's the only way you can wear nail paint. But if you're wearing worn out nail paint, if you're wearing chipped nail paint, then that is not allowed, because chipped nail paint के around जो है वो microorganisms के collect होने का risk बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाता है. So whether you're wearing a nail paint or not, that doesn't matter. What matters is that your nails should be very smooth and clean. Now, if we discuss the hand hygiene protocols, उसके अंदर सबसे पहला आपका protocol ये है that whenever your hands come in contact with patients, for example, if you shook hands with them, if you've taken their blood pressure, then you have to wash your hands. When your hands are visibly soiled or contaminated with any blood or other body fluid, then the important thing to remember is before and after donning and doffing of gloves. So gloves पहनने से पहले immediately पहले आपका हाथ धोना जरूरी है, या फिर आपने ये माइंड में रखना है कि आपके हाथ धुले हुए होने चाहिए before you wear your gloves, right? You cannot put on your gloves before operating on a patient without washing them. So washing your hands before wearing gloves, and then importantly, soon after you take off your gloves, you have to wash your hands. This is the minimum protocol. This is the basic protocol. It is a huge breach of protocol कि आपने एक पेशेंट किया, आपने ग्लव्स उतारे, साथ ही आपने नया पेयर पहना और आपने दूसरा पेशेंट करना शुरू कर दिया. This is not okay. आप जो normal examination gloves पहन के procedures करते हैं, they do not guarantee complete protection of your hands. जो आपके surgical gloves होते हैं, they have the material to protect your hands. Your examination gloves are protecting your hands to a certain extent, provided that you are washing your hands in between. So you need to be mindful of this. आपने gloves पहनने से पहले हाथ धोने, आपने gloves उतारने के बाद हाथ धोने. Then before eating anything or after personal functions, use alcohol-based gloves when hands are not visibly soiled. So अगर तो आपके आपने हाथ धोए हैं, then you haven't really done anything, then you can use sanitizers in between that. But if you've been eating, if you've been using phones, all of these things are very contaminated, right? So the patient, जो हम patient के ऊपर operate करें, that needs to be very clean, and you need to make sure कि अगर आपने phone use किया, आपने कुछ भी खाया, so you need to immediately wash your hands in a clinical environment after that. Perform surgical hand scrub before surgical procedures. So a normal hand wash is a 20-second hand wash, जिसकी मैं अभी आप लोगों को picture दिखा के steps बताऊंगी. I think COVID के अंदर हम सब ने बहुत ज़्यादा उन चीज़ों को सीखा है. So आप normal procedures के लिए you can do a normal hand wash before donning and doffing, but for a surgical procedure you have to perform a surgical hand scrub. Now surgical hand scrub is very different from a normal hand washing. Surgical hand scrub lasts for at least 2 minutes और उसका सारा procedure होता है. You have to wash your hands up until your elbows. You can YouTube video for it. आप लोग जब जाओगे surgery rotations के अंदर you'll see. So before surgical procedures, you have to do a surgical hand scrub. So yeah, so surgical procedures are those procedures जिसके अंदर you cut through the bone or you cut through the mucosa. So आपकी जो impactions हैं, आपकी जो apical surgeries हैं, all of these would come as surgical procedures. Lotion frequently. आप जब इतनी frequent hand washing करेंगे gloves उतारने और पहनने के बीच में, तो hands tend to get scaly. Now what happens is that कि आपके जो dry skinny हाथ होते हैं, like your chipped nail paint, they are more prone to have accumulating microorganisms around them. तो आपने अपने हाथों को अच्छे से moisturized रखना है. Now all of these precautions are to prevent the spread of infection. Now you need to encourage the patients to wash hands before and after the procedure as well. क्योंकि patient आता है, जो पेशेंट का प्रोसीजर हो रहा होता है वो कभी दे टचिंग देयर माउथ और व्हाटएवर, यू डोंट वांट द पेशेंट कि वो कंटामिनेटेड हाथ लेके आपके डोर नॉब्स को कंटामिनेट करे, आपके डिफरेंट क्लिनिकल एनवायरनमेंट को कंटामिनेट करे. सो यू नीड टू एनकरेज द पेशेंट टू वॉश देयर हैंड्स बिफोर एंड आफ्टर, एंड स्पेशली आफ्टर द प्रोसीजर. Keep your fingernails short and trimmed and avoid chipped nail polish. So it's okay to wear nail paint, it's not toxic, but make sure that it's very neat and clean and freshly applied. Your nails should obviously be very short and trim. आपने hand washing से पहले you have to remove all of the jewelry. You cannot wear any watch, you cannot wear any sort of ring, nothing. आपने gloves पहनने से पहले, even hand washing से पहले, you have to remove all of your jewelry. Cover any cuts and abrasions by a band-aid before donning gloves. जब आपने एक दफा हाथों को धोएंगे, अगर आपके हाथ पे कोई cuts है, so you need to wash your hands. And you need to wash your bruises and cuts, but gloves पहनने से पहले you have to cover those cuts with a band-aid. Why? Because during a procedure आपके वो जो wounds है वो themselves infect हो सकते हैं. Like we talked, your examination gloves do not guarantee protection from microorganisms. As if so, you need to cover your hands with कहीं पे भी अगर आप skin exposed है, उसको आपने बैंडेड, at least wash your hands for 20 seconds. और उसके कुछ steps हैं. 20 seconds में you have to make sure that you're cleaning the palm of your hands, you're cleaning the spaces between your fingers. Then another thing that you have to do, this G procedure, ये जो G step है, that what you have to do is you press your tips of your fingers in the palm of your hand and you clean your palm. What this does is this helps you clean the inside of your nails as well. So you can use a little brush to kind of scrub your nails, but you can also just rub your palms with your fingertips to clean your nails. And then you can either let your hands air dry or you can dry it with a paper towel.
Excuse me, Dr. Bakhtavar.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I have to remind you we are half of the way through. So we have about 30 to 35 minutes more.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Aruj. So the next standard precaution that we will talk about is use of personal protective equipment. Let's run our second poll and see what our audience thinks about the use of personal protective equipment in dentistry. Can you run the second? Okay. So the second poll is compulsory PPEs for a dental procedure are the following. So what we're trying to ask here is कि एक dental procedure में आपकी basic requirements क्या हैं? किसी भी एक normal procedure में what are the minimum compulsory PPEs that you have to wear? Is it just your mask and gloves? Is it your mask, gloves and eyewear? Is it your mask, gloves, eyewear and gown? Or is it your mask, gloves and gown? We're not talking about surgical procedure here. We're talking about a general examination. Let's just say अगर आप किसी का examination कर रहे हैं, so what do you think? Okay, so far we have 63% of the people who have voted, and 88% say that mask, gloves, eyewear and gown are the compulsory PPE, while 13% think that mask, gloves and gown are the compulsory PPE. Okay, so we have 72% of the people who voted in now. All right. So according to most of our audience, you're right. Mask, gloves, eyewear and gown. These four things are the compulsory PPEs. Okay? These are no COVID. ये COVID के अंदर नहीं है. Eyewear is not something that you only need to wear if the patient is COVID positive or as a precaution for COVID. Mask, gloves, eyewear and gown are the basic PPE that you need to do any sort of dental procedure. So like we discussed, the minimum requirement are masks, gloves, eye face protection and protective clothing. Now, when we talk about COVID-19, the extra personal protective equipment that we're supposed to wear under, as a precaution for the COVID-19 patients are a protective face shield. So we need to cover our entire face to prevent any sort of, splatters around the face. Other than that, you need to protect. इसमें protective clothing में अब जो है change आ जाता है. Now, what the regular standard, what basically the standard precaution says is that your protective clothing should cover your neck, your upper body, your arms, आपके पूरे sleeves cover होने चाहिए, and your torso should be covered, and then this length up until your knees. तो आपके knees तक, neck से लेके knees तक आपकी body covered होनी चाहिए और आपके complete arm के full arm length के आपके lab coats होने चाहिए. So it can either be a disposable surgical gown या आपका lab coat हो सकता है. Any piece of cloth that is, covering all of this criteria, your neck, your full sleeves, and your torso up until your knees. As long as all of these things are covered, you can use anything as a protective clothing. However, in COVID, the guidelines say that your entire body should be covered. हम gowns COVID के अंदर पहनते हैं that protect us from head to toe. Right? So none of our personal clothing, जो हमने यूजुअली अपने normal कपड़े पहने होते हैं, none of those are exposed to the patient's splatter. And why this is also important in COVID-19 is that aerosol generation होती है, and the SARS-CoV-2 virus can remain in air for a really long time, right? So we cannot assume that we're protected. We're not. So you need to wear a whole gown to protect all of your body from from the risk of being exposed to COVID-19. Masks, we all wear them. Gloves, we wear them. Let's see what the rules and regulations around these PPE are. So you have to wear a disposable mask during all dental procedure. This is obvious. Change mask after each patient. Again, this is one of the misconceptions. आपने हर patient के बाद mask change करनी है, right? Change mask during a procedure if it gets wet. आपने एक तो हर patient के बीच में mask change करना है. आप एक mask पहन के 4 patients नहीं निकाल सकते. You cannot say कि मेरे पास ये आज एक mask है, इसमें मैंने पूरा दिन निकालना है. That's wrong. You have to change your mask after every patient. Then, even if during a procedure, अगर आप scaling कर रहे हैं जिसमें बहुत पानी है, आप root canal कर रहे हैं, if you're cutting the tooth and there's a lot of splatter, and if your mask gets wet during a certain procedure on the same patient, you're supposed to change your mask. Gloves should be worn in situations involving possible contact with blood-body fluids, mucous membranes, non-intact skin. So whenever you're going to perform any procedure inside the patient's mouth, then you're supposed to wear gloves. And similarly, हर patient के बाद you have to change your gloves. या फिर अगर procedure के दौरान your gloves get torn at any point, then you have to change your gloves during the same procedure on the same patient as well. Lekin if your gloves are intact, then you have to change your gloves after you are done with the patient. Wear protective eyewear while performing procedures. Again, any sort of procedure that you're performing on your patient, you're supposed to protect your eyes while you're performing the procedure. What you can do with your protective eyewear is that you have to disinfect it. Again, आप एक eyewear को different patients के लिए use कर सकते हैं, लेकिन आपने उस eyewear को हर patient के बाद disinfect करना है. आप disinfect किए बगैर एक eyewear को एक से ज़्यादा patient के लिए use नहीं कर सकते. Use protective clothing to protect skin and clothing during the procedure. So you should protect your normal clothes and your skin with wearing the protective clothing. And again, like we said, the protective clothing के जो criteria वो पूरा होना चाहिए. COVID-19 में it's an entire gown. Otherwise, it's something that covers your neck, full sleeves, and your torso up until your knees. Follow hand hygiene protocols before putting PPEs on. आपने ये जो हमने hand hygiene के protocols discuss किए थे, आपने PPEs don करने से पहले आपने अपने हाथ धोने और फिर जब आपने अपनी सारी PPEs off कर दिया उसके बाद आपने हाथ धोने. Perform hand hygiene after removing and disposing of PPEs. Now, the right order of wearing your PPE is that first of all you put your mask on, then you put your goggles on, then is when you put your gloves on. So gloves बिल्कुल end में पहनते हैं, right? So because that is for your own protection, right? And it doesn't get contaminated, like it doesn't pose a threat to the patient. So you can use the same lab coat. So lab coat आप सेम ही रखेंगे, but आप donning and doffing regularly किस चीज की करेंगे? अपने gloves, mask और आईवेयर की. So the first thing you're going to do is अपने washed hands के साथ आप मास्क पहनेंगे, उसके बाद आप अपनी गॉगल्स पहनेंगे, उसके बाद आप एंड में ग्लव्स पहनेंगे. आप ग्लव्ड हाथों के साथ मास्क को या गॉगल्स को हाथ में नहीं लगा सकते, इवन अगर वो क्लीन है. Do never touch gloves or masks. Never touch your mask and eyewear with gloves that you're going to use on the patient. Even procedure के दौरान you cannot touch your mask. वो तो obvious है, but even clean mask and eyewear do not touch them with gloved hands. Then we're going to talk about respiratory and cough etiquette. Can we run the next poll? Asya, can you run the next poll, please? All right. Does your waiting area have clear instructions for cough etiquette? So all of you who work in clinical environments, आपका waiting area के अंदर do we have any instructions around what the cough etiquette is, या कोई भी इस तरह की instructions जो patient को guide कर रही है as to what they should and should not do? Okay, so 75% people are saying that yes, they do have clear instructions, and 25% are saying no. Again, this is not a test of your knowledge. This is just a test of facts that do places actually have those instructions. This is actually very interesting to me. 80% are saying that yes, they do, and 20% are saying no, they do not. I'm going to give it just 10 more seconds for the rest of the people to vote as well. Can we have everyone please send in their votes?
Okay. Also, Dr. Basavar, we have about 15 minutes.
We have 15 minutes now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we're quickly going to move on then. So when we talk about instructions, आपके ये जो respiratory hygiene और cough etiquette है, ये आपके patients के लिए. These are the people that come along with your patients, the people who are accompanying them, as well as the DHCP with any signs of illness. आपके जितने भी dental healthcare professionals हैं, by the way, this DHCP is dental healthcare professionals. Any dental healthcare professional with a sign of illness is सब उनके लिए. Now the first is that you have to hang signs on the entrance. आपकी waiting area के अंदर बहुत clear instructions होनी चाहिए that if you're sneezing, use a tissue. If you have any sort of disease, wear a mask. Standard में ये है, COVID-19 में तो everybody should be wearing a mask, right? So everybody needs to be masked, and the instructions during a pandemic need to be changed to okay, everybody their mouth should be covered with a mask and maintain social distancing. COVID में हम लोग इन चीजों के बारे में बहुत conscious हो गए. Even without COVID, under normal circumstances, आपने अपने patients को instructions देनी है that if you're sneezing, use a tissue. Tissues should be available in your waiting area. Dustbins should be available in your waiting area. You have to have masks available for coughing and symptomatic patients in the waiting area. Then you also have to provide enough space that if there is any patient with influenza or common cold, you should be able to seat them a little away from the rest of the patients so that they don't catch it. And then you also have to have the team ready कि अगर कोई भी patient आया है जिसको influenza है, common cold है, कोई भी ऐसी disease है जो आपको लग रहा है transfer हो सकती है, so they need to inform the rest of the team. So these are some of the respiratory and cough hygiene etiquette. Then we will quickly throw some light on sharp safety precautions before moving on to sterilization, which is more important. When we talk about sharp safety, you have to understand that as the dental healthcare professional, you should be very, very vigilant about the risk of injury that is involved. And then you have to take precautions according to that. अब sharp safety के अंदर हमारे पास क्या precautions आ जाते हैं, waste management के अंदर भी वो ज़्यादा detail में पढ़ेंगे कि whenever you're dealing with sharps के अंदर क्या चीज़ें आ जाती हैं, आपकी needles आ जाती हैं, आपके blades आ जाते हैं, आपकी cartridges are also sharps, आपकी orthodontic wires आ जाती हैं. So whenever you're dealing with all of these things, you have to be very, very cautious, and you have to take all the precautions not only while using them but also when you are cleaning up your dental surgeries as well as when you are disposing these off. So इनकी storing से लेके, इनकी usage से लेके, cleaning से लेके, dispose off करने तक, इन सारे steps पे you have to categorize them as sharps and take precautions accordingly. इसके अंदर हमारे पास कुछ work practice controls आ जाते हैं. For example, हमारी जो one scoop technique है, that is one of the examples. आप जो needles की cap करने की techniques हैं, उनको safe बना सकते हैं. यू हैव टू सी कि आपका स्कोप क्या है प्रैक्टिस का, आपकी सर्जरी है, आप ऑर्थोडोंटिक्स है, व्हाटएवर यू प्रैक्टिसिंग, एंड उस प्रैक्टिस के अंदर यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई थिंग्स दैट आर शार्प्स, और शार्प्स की डेफिनेशन होती है एनीथिंग दैट कैन कॉज फिजिकल इंजरी और हैज द पोटेंशियल टू कॉज फिजिकल इंजरी, राइट? So that you are decreasing the risk of blood exposure to your patients as well as to the dental healthcare professionals. Then we'll talk about the sixth standard precaution, which is sterile instruments and devices. अब ये सबसे important factor है infection control का in dentistry, कि हम instruments को sterilize किस तरह से करते हैं और हम उनको disinfect किस तरह से करके use कर सकते हैं. इसके लिए important है कि आपके clinical environment के अंदर जितनी भी चीजें कैटेगरीज के अंदर डिवाइड करना है। इंटैक्ट स्किन के साथ कांटेक्ट में आते हैं, सेमी क्रिटिकल आइटम्स वो होते हैं जो आपकी नॉन इंटैक्ट स्किन के साथ आते हैं, और क्रिटिकल आइटम्स वो होते हैं जो आपका सॉफ्ट टिश्यू या आपकी बोन को पेनिट्रेट करते हैं, यानी कि आपके बर्ड्स जिनसे आप बोन कटिंग करते हैं या फिर आपकी ब्लेड्स जिनसे आप निकोजा काटते हैं, दोज आर ऑल क्रिटिकल आइटम्स। सेमी क्रिटिकल आइटम्स वो होते हैं जो आप अगेन नॉन इंटैक्ट स्किन के साथ आते हैं। एनी स्केलर दैट यू, मोस्ट ऑफ द इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स दैट वी यूज आर कैटेगराइज्ड एज सेमी क्रिटिकल। आपके जो वो हैं जितने भी ऑपरेटिव के इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स हैं, ऑर्थो के इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स, ऑल ऑफ दोज आर सेमी क्रिटिकल। नॉन क्रिटिकल में आपके पास रेडियोग्राफ, हेडफोन्स या ब्लड प्रेशर कफ, ये सारी चीजें आ जाती हैं। नाउ यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट, सो विल सी कि नॉन क्रिटिकल आइटम्स को हम किस तरह से हैंडल करते हैं। नॉन क्रिटिकल आइटम्स जैसे कि आपका रेडियोग्राफ हेडफोन है, या फिर आपकी ब्लड प्रेशर मशीन है, या फिर आपकी एलईडी लाइट है फॉर एग्जाम्पल, क्योंकि वो आप मुंह के बाहर से यूज करते हैं, यू डोंट यूज इट इनसाइड ऑफ द माउथ एज सच, सो यू हैव टू कवर इट विद अ बैरियर। सो पेशेंट के ऊपर यूज करने से पहले यू हैव टू प्रोटेक्ट इट विद अ प्लास्टिक बैरियर, एंड बिटवीन पेशेंट्स आपने वो बैरियर रिमूव करना है, उस चीज को डिसइंफेक्ट करना है, क्लीन करना है और फिर दोबारा से यूज करना है। In case you cannot cover it with a barrier, जैसे आपके ब्लड प्रेशर मशीन आप बैरियर से नहीं कवर कर सकते, उसके काफी कंपोनेंट्स के ऊपर आप डिसइंफेक्टेंट भी नहीं यूज कर सकते, तो यू जस्ट हैव टू क्लीन इट, यू नो, यू कैन क्लीन इट विद अ क्लॉथ एंड यू कैन क्लीन इट विद सम डैम्प क्लॉथ एंड दैट्स अबाउट इट। सो नॉन क्रिटिकल आइटम्स को इस तरह से मैनेज करना है। आपके जो सेमी क्रिटिकल आइटम्स हैं, व्हिच आर मोस्ट ऑफ योर थिंग्स, क्योंकि आपकी जितनी डिवाइसेस आ जाती हैं, ये amalgam condenser जो है, आपका कार्बर जो है, anything that you're not cutting the skin with, most of the things in dentistry do lie in that category, those need to be heat sterilized. So उनको दूसरे पेशेंट पे यूज करने से पहले आपने उनको हीट स्टेरिलाइज करना है। अगर तो कुछ इस तरह की ऑप्शन है जो आप हीट स्टेरिलाइज नहीं कर सकते, तो फिर आपने उसका एक डिस्पोजेबल ऑप्शन ढूंढ लेना है, ठीक है? Then you just use it on one patient, throw it away, do not reuse it. अगर तो कोई इस तरह का इंस्ट्रूमेंट आ जाता है जो आप हीट स्टेरिलाइज भी नहीं कर सकते और जो इकोनॉमिकली वायबल भी नहीं है एज अ डिस्पोजेबल ऑप्शन, फिर आपने उसको हाई लेवल डिसइंफेक्ट करना है। पेशेंट्स के बीच में यू आर गोइंग टू यूज अ हाई लेवल डिसइंफेक्टेंट टू डिसइंफेक्ट इट। हाउएवर इसके अंदर आपके जो हैंड पीसेस हैं, उनकी कोई ऐसी एक्सेप्शन नहीं है, यू कैन नॉट यूज अ हैंड पीस ऑन अ पेशेंट विदाउट हीट स्टेरिलाइजिंग इट, ठीक है? आप उसको हाई लेवल डिसइंफेक्शन करके नहीं दोबारा पेशेंट पे यूज कर सकते, दूसरे पेशेंट पे। So between patient and hand piece always needs to be heat sterilized. Critical items जो है उनके अंदर कोई exception नहीं है, they always need to be heat sterilized. कोई disposable या high level disinfection का option नहीं है. You always need to heat sterilize your critical items before you use them on another patient. किसी भी इंस्ट्रूमेंट को स्टेरिलाइज करने से पहले it is important to clean, wash and disinfect it. I'm sure you must have gotten some information about that in the video that you saw. And then what's important is that you have to label the packages. जब आप उनको ऑटोक्लेव के अंदर पैकेजिंग को डालते हैं, you have to very clearly label it. आपने लेबल क्या क्या चीजें करनी है, आपने ये चीज लेबल करनी है कि आपने किस डेट पे उसको स्टेरिलाइज किया, आपने उसको किस साइकिल में डाले और उसका लोड नंबर क्या है। I'm not going to get into the detail of what load number is because the time कम है, and also this is, you know, more important for the people who are involved actively in the process of using the autoclave. तो बस ये याद रखें कि उसके ऊपर डेट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है और साइकिल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, कि उसका साइकिल नंबर एंड लोड नंबर इज अ लिटिल कॉम्प्लिकेटेड। सो जस्ट डेट, एटलीस्ट आपकी डेट मेंशन होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि आपके जितने स्टेरिलाइज्ड इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स होते हैं उनकी 3 to 6 months की वारंटी होती है, उसके बाद यू नीड टू स्टेरिलाइज देम अगेन। क्लीनिंग एंड डिसइंफेक्टिंग एनवायरमेंटल सर्फेसेस, you need to disinfect your surfaces between every patient. आपने जब एक पेशेंट गया है तो आपने पूरी डेंटल चेयर को डिसइंफेक्ट करना है, आपने जितने डिसइंफेक्ट होने वाले इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स थे उनको डिसइंफेक्ट करना है, and you also have to regularly disinfect your door knobs and door handles. Basically anything that got touched during a particular patient's procedure needs to be disinfected when that patient has gone, so that the entire surgery is clean and disinfected before we use it for another patient. Then we move on to dental unit water quality. Dental unit water quality is very important as well. मैं थोड़ा सा rush इसलिए कर रही हूँ so that we can take questions in the end. Dental unit water quality is important. Why? Because आपकी जो dental unit की tubes होती हैं वो बहुत narrow होती हैं. Now what these narrow long tubes are prone to is that वहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा bacterial growth हो जाती है. जब वहाँ पे bacterial growth होती है आपकी tubes के around biofilms बन जाती हैं. जब आप जितना मर्जी clean water source use कर ले, if your tubes are infected, then there is no point using clean water, right? So you have to make sure कि क्योंकि ये पानी पेशेंट के मुंह में जा रहा है और उनकी बॉडी के अंदर जा रहा है, they are ingesting this water. So this water needs to be very clean as well. Asya, can we run our poll? Can we run our next poll? Asya? Okay, no. Let me share the poll. Not this, Asya. We need another poll. We're going to skip this one. Let me actually run the poll. It's probably the 7th poll. Okay. So dental unit water should be. What do you think? Should it be clean? जो हम अपने dental units के अंदर पानी use करते हैं, what kind of water does it need to be? Does it need to be clean tap water? Does it need to be drinking water? Or does it need to be sterile water? All right. So we have less time. I'm gonna just. Everybody, if you could just quickly send in your votes, quick. We don't have enough time. All right, so everybody's almost saying different things. 40% say clean tap water, 20% say drinking water, and 40% say sterile water. So the answer to this is, let me share results. All right. So the answer to this is that you need to use drinking water. जो minimum आपकी water quality आप use कर सकते हैं अपने dental units के अंदर, that is drinking water. आप tap water भी नहीं use कर सकते, आप sterile water use करने की जरूरत नहीं है. सिर्फ वो पानी जो पेशेंट पी सके आपके डेंटल हैंड पीसेस के अंदर से या जो भी आप यूज कर रहे हैं इंस्ट्रूमेंट, उसके अंदर से साफ पीने वाला पानी निकल रहा होना चाहिए. सो द फर्स्ट रूल अराउंड डेंटल यूनिट वाटर क्वालिटी इज दैट द ड्रिंकिंग वाटर शुड बी ऑफ वाटर क्वालिटी. आपने हर 3 से 4 महीने के बाद शॉक ट्रीटमेंट करनी है अपने पेशेंट्स की, ठीक है. इस बायोफिल्म के नाम, हाउ डू यू मेक श्योर दैट यू डोंट हैव अ बायोफिल्म इन योर dental unit water tubings is by giving it shock treatment every 3 to 4 months. उसके अंदर you can Google how you shock treat and you can train yourself and your assistants for that. It's basically उसके अंदर हम diluted bleach डालते हैं, कुछ टाइम के लिए उसको हम tubings के अंदर रखते हैं, then we wash it away. ड्रिंकिंग वाटर क्वालिटी का पानी होना चाहिए. आप इरिगेशन टैबलेट्स भी यूज कर सकते हैं. आप अपने डेंटल सप्लायर से पूछें कि टैबलेट्स मिलती हैं, वो देयर गुड टू ड्रिंक, देयर ओके टू ड्रिंक. सो आपकी जो वाटर सोर्स है उसके अंदर आप इरिगेशन टैबलेट्स डाल सकते हैं. दे विल आल्सो हेल्प यू कीप द ट्यूबिंग्स क्लीन. आप जब सर्जिकल प्रोसीजर्स कर रहे हैं उसमें जो आपने कूलेंट और इरिगेंट यूज करने हैं वो आपका स्टेराइल वाटर होना चाहिए, ठीक है. जब आप बोन कट कर रहे हैं या जब ब्लेड से स्किन कट कर रहे हैं पेशेंट की, वहां पे जो आप पानी यूज करेंगे दैट नीड्स टू बी स्टेराइल वाटर. वहां पे यू कैन नॉट यूज ड्रिंकिंग वाटर. Now we're going to talk about waste management. I'm quickly going to run the last poll. If you guys could quickly vote, guys, quickly send in your voting here. In how many categories do we segregate waste? जब हम डेंटल क्लिनिक के अंदर हम लोग जब कोई चीज वेस्ट कर रहे होते हैं, how many different categories are there? Do we have 2 different categories? Do we have 3 different categories? Or do we have 4 different categories? Okay, so quickly I need all of you to vote in. All right, so 50% of the votes are in, and we're going to share the results here. Now 60% are saying that we categorize it into 4 different categories, and 40% are saying 3. So now the answer to this is 3 different categories. You basically have 3 different categories जिसके अंदर आपने वेस्ट को डिसाइड करना होता है आपने कहाँ फेंकना है. एक आपका होता है जनरल वेस्ट जिसकी यूजुअली कोडिंग इंटरनेशनली या ब्लैक होती है या वाइट होती है. दूसरा आपका वेस्ट होता है इन्फेक्शियस वेस्ट, और तीसरा आपका वेस्ट होता है हैजर्डस वेस्ट. मैं आपको इजी वे में ये समझाती हूँ. जितना आपका नॉर्मल वेस्ट है जो पेशेंट के सलाइवा से इन्फेक्ट नहीं हुआ हुआ, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने जूस पिया, आपने वो फेंकना है, आपने पेन फेंकना है, आपने पेपर फेंकना है, एनीथिंग दैट हैज नॉट बीन इन्फेक्टेड बाय has not been contaminated by patient saliva or anything, that goes into the general waste. Infectious waste के अंदर वो सारी चीजें जाती है जो patient के saliva या blood से contaminated होती है. So anything that came in contact with patient's saliva or their blood is going to go into infectious waste, which is internationally yellow. And hazardous waste में सारे sharps जाते हैं. So आपके जितने sharp items हैं, they will be going to your hazardous waste, which needs to be labeled as red. इसकी हम कुछ कैटेगरीज पढ़ लेते हैं. सो वी हैव जनरल वेस्ट, वी हैव इन्फेक्शियस वेस्ट एंड वी हैव शार्प वेस्ट. व्हाइट साइन होता है, येलो साइन होता है, रेड साइन होता है. आपका जो जनरल वेस्ट है, इट इज यूजुअली नॉन इन्फेक्शियस, इट इज नॉन टॉक्सिक, इट इज नॉन हैजर्डस, या आपके नॉर्मल वेस्ट जो है उसके साथ जा सकता है. लेकिन जो आपका इन्फेक्शियस और शार्प वेस्ट है उसकी मैनेजमेंट अलग होती है. तो आपकी जो वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट कंपनी है, आपने अपना वेस्ट रेगुलर डंप में नहीं फेंक देना. आपका जो इन्फेक्शियस वेस्ट और शार्प्स का वेस्ट है, that usually goes into incineration centers and that is dealt by waste management companies properly. So you have to be in contact with a waste management company who is going to collect your waste in these 3 different categories. आप किसी नॉर्मल कूड़े वाले को अपना क्लिनिक का वेस्ट नहीं दे सकते कि ये आप ले जाएं. नो, इट इज गोइंग टू एंड अप इन अनसेफ प्लेसेस एंड पीपल आर गोइंग टू बी एक्सपोज्ड टू ऑल ऑफ दिस huge lump of infection. So your hazardous waste, aapke dono sharps or infectious waste, it is toxic, it is infectious, and your sharps are potentially physically harmful as well. So it is very important कि आप उसको उन 3 कैटेगरीज के अंदर डिवाइड करके फेंकें और आप एक डस्टबिन के अंदर सारा कुछ ना फेंक लो. So this is important for you to understand. Yeah, so that's about it. That was all about our workshop. COVID-19 के अंदर वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट की चीज आई वुड लाइक टू एड. सो COVID-19 के अंदर ऑल ऑफ द things that need to be reused get collected in closed packs. So if you have a patient जिसका आपको confirmed है कि they're a COVID positive patient and you're giving them treatment, तो जितना सारा वेस्ट उधर से आता है, that needs to be packed separately and labeled as infectious waste. And the way of dealing with it by the waste management companies is going to be obviously different. I hope this was a useful workshop for you all. The one thing that you all need to remember is that everything that we discussed today were basic standard precautions जो आपने अपनी daily clinical practice के अंदर use करने. हम COVID-19 की specifications के अंदर बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं गए. The only thing that you have to remember is that you have to follow all of these rules and regulations for each and every patient that comes in, irrespective of whatever their infection status is. आपने सिर्फ ये नहीं देखना कि किसी को हेपेटाइटिस सी है या कोविड पॉजिटिव है तो फिर आप ये सब इन्फेक्शन प्रोटोकॉल्स फॉलो करेंगे. What you have to keep in mind is that as a practicing dentist, as a dental assistant, as a hygienist, it is your ethical duty to follow all of these rules and regulations while you give your patients any sort of dental care. So that is it. That is all from my end, and I hope this was useful for you. Over to you, Aruj.
Okay, so in the end, on behalf of everyone here at BFORT, I would like to thank, first of all, Dr. Bakhtavar for enlightening us with something that was so important to us, especially as aspiring dentists, and especially in this COVID times. And along with that, I would like to thank our 2 facilitators, Afira Amir and Hiba Irfan, for helping us during the preparation of the session as well as during the conduction of this session. And most importantly, in the end, I would like to thank all of our participants who alongside us thought that this was something very important to be learned, to be practiced, and they took out time for it. And thank you so much everyone for being a part of VCon 2021. I hope you had a great session and I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much. That was all from our side.